Good Monday to everyone. This week's Monday meditation is coming from the book of Daniel in chapter 4, and we're dropping in the middle of a long series of events that revolve around Nebuchadnezzar, who was king of Babylon at this time, and some dreams that he had. But I want to read verses 28 through 37 for you this morning, just as a reminder of what Pastor Steve shared yesterday morning in his message here at Abbott's Creek, and just to remind us of our relationship to authority, and also who is ultimately in charge is the Lord. And we get that from Daniel chapter 4, and these verses we're going to read beginning verse 28, and hope it's an encouragement to you today. All this came upon King Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he was walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon. And the king answered and said, Is not this great Babylon, which I have built by my mighty power as a royal residence, and for the glory of my majesty? While the words were still in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken, the kingdom has departed from you, and you shall be driven from among men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. And you shall be made to eat grass like an ox, and 7 periods of time shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whom he will. Immediately the word was fulfilled against Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from among men, and ate grass like an ox. And his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hair grew as long as eagle's feathers, and his nails were like birds' claws. At the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted my eyes to heaven, and my reason returned to me. And I blessed the Most High, and praised and honored him who lives forever. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are accounted as nothing, and he does according to his will among the host of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand, or say to him, What have you done? At the same time my reason returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and splendor returned to me. My counselors and my lords sought me, and I was established in my kingdom, and still more greatness was added to me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, for all his works are right, and his ways are just, and those who walk in pride he is able to humble. So here we have King Nebuchadnezzar, this great king of Babylon. In his pride he's brought low, and at the end of these 7 years, he comes to his senses, it says in the scripture, my reason returned to me. And the most reasonable thing, the most reasonable conclusion that Nebuchadnezzar comes to is that God, the Most High, is in charge, and that we should submit to him and yield to him. And so this week, whatever you face, if it feels like things are out of control in your life or the world around us, remember that God is in charge. We can trust him. Be encouraged today. God bless.